Now that you know that these people are real people, do you feel a sense of remorse?
Back when I was doing this, I was on a lot of drugs.
What made you snitch? What made you turn state's evidence?
I snitched on someone that...
I mean, but you wanted to be a gangster. You know that the mob has a code. Omerta
There's consequences now.
did a week in jail for stealing $500 million, man. $500 million, week in jail.
Damn.
I was snitching on him no matter
In
what.
10 years, we're going to cut this tape back and you're going to eat your words. Stop whatever the fuck you're doing right now. Prepare to be shocked. This is On The Road Podcast. That's Sincere Show. Ray Trapani. I'm Jason Derulo. All right, so Ray, so you have something that's about to happen that's very, very special. You have a documentary about yourself on Netflix. Can you tell us what it's about?
It's my whole life story, but the main focus is about a cryptocurrency story, about a cryptocurrency I created back in 2017. I had a car rental business down in Miami, and I was basically just renting out Ferraris, Lambos, everything like that. And then people started talking about cryptocurrency, and we tried investing, me and my boy, my partner at the time, and we just had been losing. And then everybody was talking about like an ICO, which was just an initial coin offering, which was basically, I had no idea about the industry at all.
When I watched that trailer, to me, this looks like the modern day kind of Narcos kind of situation that is totally different because it's cryptocurrency, right? You're not selling drugs, you know, but you're selling cryptocurrency. You're selling a different kind of product that is digital. Would you say it's kind of like a similar kind of thing?
In what regard, you mean?
So just with the jets, the cars, I mean, it just looks like this crazy lavish life that you built off of the criminality.
Yeah, it's fully off the criminality aspect of it. But the crazy thing about crypto is it's really just like a made money, right? You basically essentially create a coin and you're printing money. It's the craziest, most bizarre thing in the world. Like now I still look at crypto like it's, besides like the Bitcoin, Ethereum, those are like the real deal ones that there's so much money in it that it'll never fail. Mm-hmm. But when you create it, like most of these smaller coins, they just all printed money.
Yeah,
like
Dogecoin and all of these little
it's
random.
the most wild thing in the world. Like you can just go on there. Like we paid a guy on Upwork to just create it, like to write the code for it, and you just print 100 million of it, and then you pick your price, how much you want to sell it for.
But so, hold on, let's rewind back a little bit, right? So it's 2017, yes, right? Sir. You and your friend, your homeboy, y'all doing this car rental business. Is it successful? Are you guys making money doing that?
Yeah, we were eating.
So you eating good, you in Miami, you out, you partying, people know you. Are you a known person? You kind of behind the scenes?
I was a known person. I owned the business.
I'm saying, as far as a car rental, everybody knew you. Like you was a. What would you say? As far as like social media, did you have like a big following?
Back then, like the Miami Exotics company had like 20K, but which was all right.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
for a car rental service.
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. Like probably 5K that's bought, but like 15K over like 2 years of business. In the beginning you buy them shits to make that shit look official, right? Just coming to Miami, I was like 24.
Yeah.
I had never opened a business.
You was coming to Miami from
New York.
From New York? Okay.
Yeah.
I want to even take it back further,
yeah,
right?
I think it's better to go back.
Yeah, we gotta get to know the guy, the man, the myth, the legend, right? So growing up in New York, like what was your upbringing like as far as family and your surroundings and stuff like that?
So that's where like my criminality really begins is back home, right?
Okay.
So I had a fucked up childhood, like just mad abusive. I don't want to get into like certain particular details with shit. Mm-hmm. But that's one thing that Netflix doesn't show is like even the opening line of the trailer, right, is about how I always want to be a criminal. That whole, really the context behind that was how I was abused as a kid and then surrounded by criminality. And that's why I always want to be a criminal as a kid, right?
100%. So,
which is, a lot of people that have been through struggle understand that shit. And they just go into life wanting to be a criminal as a kid.
I don't know if it's a want, but it's normal, right? Like we make criminality normal as children. We seeing it happen all the time. the guys we look up to, they're in fancy cars, they got the beautiful women, and then they're doing stuff that the government deems as being a criminal act, and we like, man, I want to get money like
Exactly.
like this guy. I want to be like that guy.
That's the role model, right? The guys that are getting the girls, the guys that have the nice cars. This is who we're looking up to because those are the role models. You know, we want to be like them. So I mean, so you start off in New York. So you have this crazy upbringing. Then like, what's next? Like, how do you get to Miami and how do you start the exotics?
So like, as far as you want to just, all right, we can jump right to that because like, there's a lot of fraud that's in the documentary that's before that as well.
Okay, go ahead.
You know,
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So like,
wait. Let me just say this. These things that, because you essentially were charged and convicted for the crypto scam.
yeah, originally I was charged and convicted for the crypto scam, but I ended up cooperating. That's why I'm not in jail.
Now, my question is, were you charged and convicted for the things before that? Because if not, I don't want to talk about it.
You are. So when you cooperate, you have to admit to every crime you ever did in your life.
Okay,
So I have 12
100%. You talked
felonies.
about everything.
Yeah,
So,
so
us talking about it here on the podcast is not getting nobody locked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is not Vlad TV, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to make sure we put that out there. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to talk about this in its totality. He's already confessed to his crimes. He's already did the time. He's already been judged for whatever he's done. So we making sure, you know, we here for the people. You know what I mean? So go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so originally my first big crime was like a prescription fraud, right? With pills back in the day. I had basically stolen a pad and then I got this kid that was a professional handwriter and then he would write out, I would just get like a doctor to give me a script for like Av or whatever. And we would just write out unlimited amounts of scripts for pills. So that was like a prescription fraud, like little ring I ran back in the day when I was like 18, 17.
How much money would you say you made doing that?
Probably over a year, like probably a little bit less than like $500,000.
Okay, that's
But like
pretty good.
under 18.
Of
you know?
course,
And that's like
phenomenal.
after coming from like a single mom home, poor, like broke, you know, always struggling. So like we were eating, you know.
Yeah.
So you was the man from early
I was
age.
the man, but I was also already addicted to drugs. Right.
So you were doing the drugs and
Yeah.
selling the drugs. Okay.
So that's where like my downfall always was that I was always throughout all this time. Like I had gotten a bad car accident when I was like 16, face all chopped up into pieces, and they prescribed me Oxycontin when I was like 16. And then from there on out, I was just ripping and running, doing drugs, but then I was also hustling and always selling drugs, right? I got a big settlement. First thing I did was bought like 10 ounces of coke. I was just selling drugs. So that was like my childhood, right? So then that kind of just peaks and valleys in my life up until like when I start to move to Miami, right? Where I was like, all right, I got some bread put together. Let me move down to Miami and try to open a business. I was doing.
How much money did you come to Miami with?
It wasn't just that I had like, you know, $250,000 in cash maybe, but or like something like that, like actually like liquid cash. But I also got credit, access to a lot of credit, which is, you know, more important than the money actually at that point. When you want to get, you know, $500,000 cars and all that type of shit. So then I moved down here, and then like I've just basically I had like access to credit through a few different people, right? Like when you're doing a car business, it's hard to just get like multiple cars in your own name. So you have to just basically get this person assigned for a couple cars. You put down the down payments, and basically make like. But it was all like I was able to get like 10 cars, right? I got Aston, Lambo, Bentley, all that type of shit. Partnered with a company down here, and the business was going good. You know, like that business was. I should have just stayed right there.
Legit.
Really.
It was legit.
Yeah.
It was going good. Were you servicing a lot of like celebrities and high-end clientele, stuff like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I might have got a car from you back then. I was out here, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah, like my boy that I had partnered with is still doing it out here,
Oh, that's what's up.
and they're killing it. Like I should have stayed with that business. Like realistically, if I wasn't like if I was level-headed, I would have never been like, all right, let me get back into fraud, right? But I just always like I said, like was chasing that dream of just being like the biggest criminal. Still,
Yeah,
like,
more, but you always want more too.
Yeah, and that's my issue. That was always my issue. You know, it took me till like after all the shit to be kind of calm down and settle down.
I mean, essentially, you're a genius, right? Like you figuring out how to make money, how to put things together. You got these people doing this over here, and you're making money off cars. You make money off pills, and then you say, "Let me venture into something new that nobody really was paying attention to," and this is the crypto market, right?
Yeah.
So let's expand on that. Like, how did that? What really caught your attention about cryptocurrency? Because I mean, honestly, I really first heard about it during like the pandemic. Everybody's raving about it, like, like crypto. A lot of the guys that got in early, I mean, made bank, especially during the pandemic. Like,
And that was late. That was
late,
late,
right? So even would you say 2017 is late compared to some of the guys?
Yeah,
that were
yeah.
in
Like
20?
2011 is like that real early, but like only nerds was really fucking with it back then, right? Like or people that was selling drugs on Silk Road, like, which is, I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's like the online drug platform that people used to sell drugs, and that's like the only people that had Bitcoin in the beginning.
I never
That's what
heard of Silk
Bitcoin was
Road.
really used
It
for.
was like a different kind of black market.
Yeah, it's still they still got them, like the dark web or whatever. Like people doing hits on there and everything with and like Silk Road is like the original one. That guy got life in jail.
The guy who started Silk Road got life in. Okay,
Yeah,
it's crazy out here. so after you get the crypto and you're able to sell it, what was the first price point that you were selling it for?
So it was 1 Ethereum. It's always in cryptocurrency values, which people that understand or like know cryptocurrency, 1 Ethereum today is like $2,000, but it was 1 Ethereum for 200 Central coins. But back then, Ethereum was only like $2.50 a coin. So it's basically $1 a coin.
So you had to buy the Ethereum first.
Yeah, so like
to
that's how it
convert it
always
over?
works. Like essentially, like as soon as you invest 1 Ethereum, it automatically sends you back your coins.
Okay.
So like it's like basically negates the scam part of it, right? Like if someone's sending you money and you're not getting their Central coins back, but it's called a smart contract that you, like a developer codes out that as soon as they send the Ethereum, so like everything's on the Ethereum blockchain, which only people like that really understand crypto will care about. But I think that part is really not that important. So like the crazy thing was we just basically took a whole business plan from some company overseas and copied it, and then basically within like a month and a half had a few $1 million that people invested in.
So what was the marketing plan for this? So you got so it's fake in the beginning or is it real in the beginning?
The beginning is fully fake.
It's fake.
We ended up going real after we raised a lot of money, right? So, but in the beginning, it's fully fake. We're
It's
just
fake.
let's just.
But
fuck
what does
with-
fake mean exactly? Because everybody is creating the coins. So why is this particular coin fake?
So it's not fake is a weird word, right? But so what we're based on is that we're creating a debit card, right? That you'll be able to spend your cryptocurrency in real time with a Visa and MasterCard. We had said that we already had a branded card from Visa and MasterCard. We had never even spoke to Visa and MasterCard. And then our team page on our website had like CEO, executives,
Made up.
completely taken off the internet, just pictures of people.
But I say somewhere like your granddad was a CEO or something.
Yeah, yeah. That was actually after people had found out that the real CEO was fake. We had to kill him off, and we said he died in a car accident.
Oh shit!
Him and the other person had died in a car accident. We were like, all right, now we need another CEO. Because we didn't want to put our faces as the CEO because we were so young and like we had no real experience. And like even our LinkedIn's, like my LinkedIn said I went to Harvard. You know? And the funniest
You
shit,
ain't never seen Harvard. Well, you never
dropped out
stepped
of high
foot at
school.
Harvard. God
Yo,
damn.
this is like masterminding on a whole nother level. You know what I mean? So you went to Harvard. Right? So back to what I was asking about the marketing strategy, right? Because this is the genius part to me, right? Like being able to get people to believe this is real and to put their money into this legitimately to where you can live this lavish lifestyle. Like, what was that part of it? So now you got you got it all set up. You like, all right, now we need to get some real money in this thing. How did you start to raise money? What was that strategy?
So we were just doing press releases and then going in. They had like a bunch of like these nerdy crypto chat rooms, right? And you just go pitch your ideas in them pretty much. And there's a thing called Bitcoin Talk. There was just a bunch of small scale
This like
things.
on Reddit or
Pretty much like a Bitcoin Reddit.
okay.
Exact same thing, exactly. That's really what it is. But then one day, we saw out of nowhere, right? Like we had raised like $500,000 just off like hustling and bustling, like every day, just like pitching that shit. And then one day out of nowhere, someone puts out this article and it says that Centratech is part of this bank, and it's like this old white guy, Cliff High. and $2 million came in. We're like, who is this guy? We didn't even know. So
Oh, some random.
guy. And we're like, we jumped in our chat room like, yeah, we love that guy. Like, that's our guy, right? and people like swear by this guy. He's like he created some sort of like linguistics. I don't even know what the fuck you call it, really. He basically created this bot that searches the internet, right? But it made a mistake. And it basically overlapped us with a bank in his software. So he essentially put out a press release that essentially looks like the real deal. 2 million comes in. And we were like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I remember sitting on my balcony. I was living in Lauderdale at the time, and I'm like, every day I was just refreshing, you know, sitting on my shit refreshing. The car business, like I had kept a few cars, but I was focused on this, right?
Yeah.
I just remember seeing like another 100,000, like that big amounts didn't really come in yet, you know? So like 100,000, 200,000, like another 500,000. I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is wild shit. And then I hit up my boy, and then he was like, yeah, some guy, Cliff High, and like we're like, all right, let's look him up, you know. And then we're like, we had created like everybody that creates a coin basically creates like a thing called the Slack channel, which is like a chat room. And then we're like in there, like, yeah, like Cliff High, we had spoken to him. You know, this is great news that he put out this press release. You know, basically just riding it out. And then Cliff High like backtracks on his Twitter or whatever. But people didn't sell. Like, that was the craziest thing about this whole thing.
So did he get his money back?
So he wasn't the one that invested. He put a press release out, but
And
so many
else
people
was sending in money.
So many people believed in him that they were investing.
Understood.
But maybe they didn't. Maybe they seen the press release saying that you guys were legit, and they didn't see the retraction.
No, they saw the retraction, and
So why weren't they?
it was
selling?
just that right away we were like, all right, so let's jump on he retracted, and we reached out to him. We're like, let's jump in on an interview. And through that, it was like this frenzy in cryptocurrency talking about this big interview with Cliff High and us. And he killed us in that. We looked like my partner that took the interview, he looked terrible. Like everything, he called out everything. And just fucking, it was so bizarre because like nothing changed. We were just pitching like the people in the chat room and they would just believe us. But Cliff High was just smarter. He was just better.
He knew what was going on.
He really knew.
Yeah.
And he just basically shit on us in that. But
so I mean, what was my boy Cliff saying, man? Cliff sounded like he was legit, man.
Yeah, he was trying to help the people.
Yeah,
he really was. He got roped into this shit. Later down the line, it's crazy because we brought him on to work with us because after a while, like we had raised so much money.
Y'all made so much money, y'all brought in
We
Cliff.
bought him.
My boy Cliff came back.
Damn, everybody got a price,
Cliff
man.
had- Cliff
What was Cliff's price, man? What was Cliff's price?
We was just paying him as like
Consultant?
Yeah, consultant, just like $500K a year, some crazy shit like that.
Damn, Cliff.
Yeah, Cliff.
People still love him, so I feel bad for him because he really wasn't trying to go. But that's what would happen is these YouTubers would put out these bad articles about us, and every single one of them, we just buy them, right? Sooner or later, they would come back like,
Oh no, they're the real deal.
yeah. At first, like some of them right away would take the bread and just take it down, whatever, or we'd make them put out a new video like they made a mistake, and they would always do it. But then a couple of them were like playing hard ass. They were like more like,
We're here for the people.
yeah.
We don't
Legit.
want the money. And
Give
then
him
you
like 2 weeks.
Would you take 600,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take 600.
Not even that much. 10 bands. Like they would come back in 2 weeks and be like, they'd be like, oh, you know, my kid's sick, you know?
Right, something.
Yeah. And you'd be like, I got you. Like, and the crazy thing is you pay him in Centra coins. Printed money.
No way.
Yo, this is
You paid him in the fake money.
Yo, this is pure gold right here. So,
God
so they was
damn.
turning the joint down, and then they knew it was fake, and then they was still taking the fake currency.
But they would sell it, right? They would sell it right away and get their Ethereum and
Get their
cash
little
out,
couple money
whatever.
back, yeah.
Some people probably believed in the coin at that point too.
Yeah, everybody was loving that coin for a while. And then what we did, so we had, at this point, we have like millions of dollars, right? We're like, all right, we need some real people. And then we got Floyd Mayweather, and he did a commercial for us. And then DJ Khaled also did a commercial for us.
That's pretty big right there.
Yeah, you went for the big guns.
Yeah.
How much you pay those guys if you don't mind?
I think Floyd got $1 million.
Woo.
Khaled probably got like $250,000. Yeah. Yeah,
But they didn't know.
they had no idea.
Y'all just was like, hey, we got this
Literally,
company.
yeah.
Damn, Floyd, you getting $1 million just to say something real, huh?
Yeah, he did like two video Instagram posts where like we sent them basically what we did was we like didn't have the real cards yet, right? So we made like I took my debit card, sent it to one of those companies that's like makes your card into a metal card. Made like a metal Centric card, sent it to him, and then he basically just went to the store and was like buying underwear with my Centric card, swiped it, showed it like we had this fake app.
That's hilarious. So what? So why couldn't you just get
The shit to work?
yeah, like a real credit card or go and do business with Visa or MasterCard and make it happen?
So once we had raised millions of dollars, that's when we were like, all right, once we had Floyd, we were already trying to go legit, right? Like when we got those guys, we were already in this transition period where like we never knew it was gonna get to this point, right? We were just trying to make a bag and just like we didn't know where it was gonna go. But once you get like 10, 20, 30 million, you're like, all right,
Yeah, let's figure this out.
Yeah, let's figure this shit out.
Yeah, for sure.
And from there, like the company starts to go legit, but it was built on a house of cards, right? So like it was bound to sooner or later fall apart.
It's like a Ponzi scheme, like because you actually living off the money too. You having this extravagant lifestyle. You on PJs. You giving away $1 million to this guy. So it's like you spending the money. It's money coming in, but the money you spent is gone. There's no way to really replace that unless the numbers just get astronomical. But
the crazy thing that also happened was like we had raised 200,000 Ethereum, which when we raised it was 250 a coin. Then there was a crypto boom, so Ethereum went to 1,000 a coin. So it went from like 25 million to 200 million.
So y'all really had that then.
And then the Centric coin was just doing so well. That shit was $6 a coin. So you're talking about 100. You created 100 million. That's almost $1 billion company at one point.
Oh wow.
You know, like we held 32 million Centric coins in like our pocket while we sold the rest of the coins. That's what raised the 200,000 Ethereum. But the company was valued at like some wild number. You know, at least half a bill.
So was it you guys were trying to go legit, but you were knocking on the doors and people weren't receptive or what?
No, the crazy thing is when we had got arrested, it was fully legit. We had the cards.
So you figured out how to get the card because that's what a lot of people want. They want to be able to use their Bitcoin or whatever and swipe.
I mean, the shit is genius if it's legit.
Yeah. Like you see Crypto.com Arena. That's what that company was founded on. It used to be an old company called Monero or a different company that was also a scam, but it was just in a different country. And now they rebranded, came to America. They're Crypto.com, and they have an arena that they bought Staples Center.
They bought Staples.
Damn.
Like that could have been us.
That could have been y'all.
That could have been us.
But y'all got caught. Y'all fucking got caught.
Yeah. Yo, this is an amazing story. Like, my thing is how much money ultimately, because essentially, did you steal money from people? Is that what the crime was ultimately?
It's a weird thing because a lot of people even made money off Centric coins, right? But you can't that's like a cop out for me to say people made money. Like we were built on a lie and people lost money, and that's a serious thing, right? So like that's where like of course you're sorry. The hard part when people ask me like, do I feel sorry? That's like a common question I get, and the thing is, I don't know any of the people, right? Besides just not knowing them, I never seen their face. And they were literally like a guppy in a chat room, like with like some crazy name, like, you know, Kingfish 28. Right. And you're like, they're giving you $1 million, you know? Or like some company in South Korea gave us like 15 million. Like, I don't know them. I just know their name that's like in a chat room. That's where it's like a little weird. Like, what I think is super interesting, like when you met me, did you ever ask me what I did?
Yeah.
And did you ever speak about this company? This is the most interesting aspect of this whole conversation, in my opinion.
For sure.
So me and Jason had met in where we met at the casino, right? You want to go ahead?
Yeah, for sure. So this is how it happened. So go to the Hard Rock. Hard Rock was, you know, my spot. And I would go
What city?
Hollywood, Hard Rock. And I frequent there, you know. At that time, I wasn't as frequent, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, I wasn't as frequent. But I did go and I tried to get a table. Everybody was gambling this night. It was just like crazy. All the tables was taken. So I go and I see one guy just sitting by himself. So I'm just like, all right, cool. Let me go sit at this table right here. The what do you call those guys? The umpire, the host, the pit host. He's like, oh no, this is reserved. And then the guy that's sitting at the table, Ray, he's like, he's good. I'm like, well, who the fuck is this motherfucker? Yeah. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. But then I look over, and then there's just piles of bread. He just got piles of chips, just like hundreds of thousands in chips. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, he's a big spender.
Yeah, he's a big spender. But very young guy. All he has with him is a backpack. So we get to talking, and then we form like a gambling friendship, you know, like when you're on the table with somebody and you're spending a lot of time with them, we start gambling together and shit. And then that goes to us, like, you know, calling each other, yo, you going out? You going over there tonight? Yeah, cool. So we build a rapport
through gambling.
But I'm like, how is this motherfucker making all this money?
Yeah.
And then you did start to tell me, but you didn't go really in depth with it.
My whole thing was I never wanted you to invest in the company because I genuinely liked you, right? Mm-hmm. So like that was like something like I always prided myself on that. A lot of my friends asked me to invest in the company, and I always told them not to invest. And it was a weird thing.
Why you ain't invest in me? No.
But it was such a weird thing to say, right?
Because people you ain't give me $1 million to promote it?
people are like, yo, you got so much bread right now. Like, you're doing so well. Why don't you want me to invest in your company? And you don't know what to say because you don't want to tell them what's going on.
Yeah.
You know? So that was just such a weird aspect. I remember the second night, we had gambled like back-to-back nights, and we had we both did really well, but we weren't like coloring up our chips that much, and we ended up just having like a stack of chips.
Just everywhere. Couldn't see us, and it was so much fun. Is because it was like we can't lose. The shit was crazy. I would lose, he would just replenish my shit. I was like, oh, we lit.
This is my boy right
This is my dog. I can't lose, nigga, even if I was losing.
That's right.
So we had some good times, but even if we went to the strip club or something, he'll had his book bag, and I know he got just a gang of cash in his mouth. I was like, bro, you can't just be walking around Miami with this fucking but he didn't give a fuck.
I always had my strap on me first off, but I always walked around with.
It's Miami, stand your ground.
Yeah, no, it was a licensed gun. It was a licensed gun.
Man.
Yeah.
Jazz
but
pop, man. Come over here with that.
I was walking around with at least 250 on me at all times.
Of course.
Crazy.
You know, I don't mean to take a dark turn, but do you feel safe?
I feel completely fine, realistically. Like my one of the other co-founders tried to get me killed while this whole shit was going on, like after we had got locked up. And the people from the hood called me and basically told me what he was trying to do. Like people from where I'm from called me. Like I always feel good.
But what about those, cause you say like, it's a name. What about Big Fish 07? You know what I mean? Or some guy in North Korea or South Korea, excuse me, who put that 15 million up, or some company or some, right, who ended up having to hold that bag. I mean, this is pretty recent too, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't contemplate.
Like
I'm gonna tell you right now, if it's me, you know what I'm saying? If I invested in that, for sure. And now, you know, with this documentary coming out, they're gonna see the face to the guy that, you know, they didn't know at first and they know now. I mean, do you truly feel like you good?
Like I'm not gonna go to South Korea.
You know? That's what place you stayed away from.
Yeah, stay away from
That's
South
the 15 million.
Yeah, but I'll like as far as like going around the United States and doing whatever I do, like I just will never live in like hiding, right?
Of course.
So I think a lot of people have, you know, done some fucked up shit and they have some sort of like, you know, look over their shoulder type of feeling regularly. But I just kind of live my life and go about my emotions the way I do. You know, I don't really. I think about that, but I don't.
But do you feel at this point, now that you know that these people are real people, do you feel a sense of remorse?
Yeah. So like when I seen the guy in the trailer, for instance, right, that was a real person. I could feel bad for that person. I see his real face. I hear him sad about the money that he lost. I can feel sorry about it, especially nowadays. Like back when I was doing this, I was on a lot of drugs. I'm sober now forever. So like for 7 years now. So like I feel people's actual pain.
Yeah, congratulations.
Right? I haven't done. Yeah. Thank you. And and I'm a healthy person. I got kids now. I live a regular life, and so like I can feel people's pain.
So you were not in your right mind. You feel like.
No, like if you want to talk about like the amount of drugs I was doing, I was taking 25 Xanax a day.
Wow.
Shit.
And then anybody that's done one 2 milligram Xanax, I was taking 25 a day. When you met me, that's how I was. Like I was walking around, like people talk about Wolf of Wall Street, like the similarities. He talks about like how people don't realize how many drugs you can get to a certain extent, like when you're able to just afford endless amounts. It was crazy. Like and people don't realize like, as fucked up as this whole situation is, like I used to be like there was a point there where I was shooting heroin back in the day, and like I haven't done no drugs like that in 15 years. But during this whole time of Centra, I was on 20, 25 Xanax every single day. So like, of course I feel bad, but my life has just taken such a positive turn ever since my arrest, and like it's like such a weird thing like that your brain almost can't process, right? Like, 'cause you have such these good feelings of like, you're doing the right thing and you change your life around. You get married, you have kids, you're paying back your debt to the government, like which goes back to the victims. I can't live like in this like I don't live in like a shady world anymore. I live a positive life. Like my goal through doing this wasn't to really like applaud the crime, but I think it's, a story that just is a good story, right? Like top to bottom, I wrote a book on it and Netflix was interested in it. And,
I mean, your story is as American as apple pie. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shit. I mean, most, if we want to talk about the history of America and the people that built America, I mean, this shit was built on crime and crime families. I mean, from the Rockefellers on up, right? Like there are literal documentaries on what these people did to become wealthy. I'm not advocating for it. I'm not saying that it's a good thing, but it's just the reality of the world that we live in. I mean, there's a lot of things that, I mean, even if you get into the drug and pharmaceutical industry, the same people that put you on it when you were 16 years old, they profit from the pain and the heartache of people like you and myself, just normal people, and they putting these crazy prices on narcotics essentially legally, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they're making billions and trillions of dollars off of this. So, I wouldn't say one guy or one person is better than the other. But what I do want to ask is, walk us through the arrest, right? Like, when does it happen? What's going on at the time? Like, give us just a real description of how the arrest goes down.
So a few months before my co-founders had got arrested, me and my co-founders got in a fight, like a bad argument, because they had owed me like $500,000 for something that was from the car business, actually. That I had a loan out that I needed to, like, I was like, I need to pay this back. We made all this bread with this. Like, let's take this bread and pay that $500,000, right? Yeah. It was only
Are you rich off the crypto at that time, too?
Yeah, but it was more, it wasn't that I wanted him to pay the whole thing. I said, split it with me. We had made the debt together. Like, it didn't matter how much money we had. It was only right.
Separate, yeah.
Yeah, it's principal at that point.
Yeah, it was only principal. And the kid that's my co-founder, I went to high school with. Mm-hmm. So like, there's a lot of history there, right? Like, and we never really were friends, like the whole time. Like in all these different businesses, it was just like, it's a weird, like there's a whole.
He could do a set of things, you could do a set of things. Let's do something together.
Yeah, exactly. We were both good at what we were good at, and so we had gotten a bad fight over that, and then like almost a fist fight in the office, right? And I had left like a few months before the arrest started happening, and then I'm at the casino, actually, a different casino, playing this like $250,000 poker game, and it was at like one of these Miami casinos, and I was just sitting there. I got a call from Broward County office, and I'm like, sheriff's office, and I'm like, who the fuck is this, And you don't know like if it's one of your other boys, what it is, mm-hmm. right? I pick up and it's him, and I'm like, fuck is going on?
Don't call me.
Yeah, why the fuck you calling me? Exactly. That's like what everybody says. But he wasn't out for my best interest, right? Like he didn't give a fuck.
That's for sure.
And so then he didn't even want to speak to me. He was trying to get in touch with his girl. He just had no regard for my well-being, that he just was like, yo, can you three-way my girl for me? I'm like, I'm your co-founder with this company that you just got jammed up for federal. The FBI just arrested you as you're trying to leave the country, and you're gonna call me, like, whatever. That's besides the point. And then they didn't. After that happened, they still didn't arrest me for like 2 months. Mm. And they might.
Why you ain't just get up out of here?
it was, you know, it's tough to leave America. Like this, you got it good here, you know? And like a lot of my money's in cash at this point. It was like a weird thing. And you're just kind of in this life of I was just like doing drugs, going to the strip club, shopping every day, and gambling, really. I was at Hard Rock like every day.
How do you end up in jail from that point?
So I just basically, 2 months go by of just like me just living life basically. And then one day I'm in my crib with my girl at the time. And then just like I had came back from the Hard Rock at like 2 in the morning. I fall asleep. And like 4 in the morning, just bang, 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 like with the heavy bang, like the craziest bang you ever heard. And I thought I was getting robbed. I grab my strap, pick it up, and I'm like, you know, whatever, like, you know.
Let's go, it's up.
Yeah, whatever it is, it is. And fucking, and then you hear FBI, you're like, fuck, you know.
Put this gun down.
Yeah, put it right back down. Right? Put that shit right back down, fucking. And then I just basically go answer the door on my drawers, and they cuff me up. They let me get dressed. They were like respectful and shit, you know. It was like,
I'm not gonna lie, if you was black, they'd have beat you up.
fair
Put
enough.
you in cuffs with your drawers, dick hanging out. Yeah, get him in the car now. But I'm glad they showed some morality with you. You know what I'm saying?
They're fair enough, man. And then fucking, it was 420 actually. So like, I was smoking a lot at that time. I had mad weed. And like my girl was a big pothead at the time, and they just took like all the weed, whatever, like, and they took my gun. Right, because that shit was out. Like they didn't do a search warrant. They just was like, when they don't do a search warrant, they're not supposed to go through your shit. But it was like out in visual eye. So they took me down, and I was like just coming off so much drugs that's really like the hardest part of the rest.
Sitting
right?
in jail.
Yeah, and they put you in like in jail. They put you in like suicide suit. Like it's like looks like a gladiator suit that's like Velcro over here, like a turtle suit, whatever the fuck they call it. And you just basically withdrawn, and it's like. You in Broward County Jail, you know, it's like half of the jail looks like Kodak. Fucking, you know, like a couple of them actually, a couple of them got sniper gang tattoos like on their face. You're like, whatever, dude, you know, just let me sit here, I guess.
So how long were you there?
I wasn't there that long. They let me out after like a week to go to rehab.
Okay, so this is what I want to know. At the height of the crime, how much money would you say the company had raised at that point?
The height of the crime, we had probably access to 400 million.
What is the penalty? Because when I think about this type of stuff, right, I immediately start thinking about Madoff, right? Like how in 2008, obviously, we all know about what happened in America with the housing bust and all of this money and billions of dollars these people, and then most of these guys get a slap on the wrist basically for robbing the country, leaving people homeless, leaving people on drugs, etc. What is the penalty for, because you sitting here with us right now, we talking about 2017, we talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, and we get the profit off of it, one, write a book, Netflix special, maybe a movie, who knows, right? And it's like,
I mean, it is a movie.
Well, I mean,
documentary.
We have documentary, but a movie is, you know, biography, somebody playing you. Who would play you, first of all? Who would play you?
I mean, you try to play like the old me, and I don't know if you ever seen a picture of me. Like you've seen me back then. I mean, I think I'd probably go with like Timothy Chalamet.
I was gonna say Timothy Chalamet, man. So
like skinny.
We're gonna make that happen. Timothy.
I was like pale and shit.
So you know, we got all
glasses.
these
What happened to the glasses?
I still wear glasses. I used to always wear glasses.
For sure.
We profiting off the crime and the pain of people. You know, like I said, I don't mean to take a dark turn, but I have to speak on this because there are real people behind that money that you and those other people raise. You get to sit here freely married, happy with children, off drugs, which is great for you. What is the penalty though for a crime like that? Like what happened to you? They let you out in a week to go to rehab. Then what?
So I was facing like 100 and something years, right? But I cooperated. My co-defendant got 8 years and one got 1 year. That's the end result of all the penalties, right? It's the most craziest thing. Like that's why they call it white collar crime. Like it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. And there's a reason that's called white collar crime, right?
Of course.
If it's anything that's like from the streets, that shit is straight black collar crime, right? Yeah. That's what they might as well call it. It's fucked up, but like
football numbers for way less.
Yeah.
You know, this guy's in jail right now for 8 years, 10 years.
Because he robbed a gas station for 8.
Even something like that. You robbed a gas station or some weed crime, which I see now they saying that Joe Biden is letting a bunch of people out. I know Trump, he let a bunch of people out with these minor offenses, and I think Obama started that. And it's strange to me, you know what I mean, that somebody could do that much damage to the planet. And then, listen, I'm glad you out and able to tell your story, right? Like me, I don't think nobody should be in jail for the rest of their life. Really, I mean, unless it's something with little kids or something, I think that's just repulsive, right? But there has to be something more than like you get to tell on everybody else. And they like, all right, he told, thanks, this guy get 8 years, he'll be out in 6. You know, good time, good. What do they call it when you do
good behavior?
Good behavior. You get out and probation, maybe even sooner. The guy who get a year, he's been out. He probably started another crypto company. You know what I mean? It's like, how is this even? What's happening with the? Because you're getting what is it? The district attorney is making this deal with you. What's happening with the FBI and what are they saying to you to get your sentencing not to be as high or harsh? I want to like get into that conversation because I think it's important for people to know, like, how you dealt with, you know, how you dealt
But
with
you're
that.
still in the system, right? Like, what's going on right now?
I'm still on probation today.
Okay.
For how long?
Yeah.
3 years. I'm done in April 2025.
Well, how much jail time did you actually do?
Like a week.
No way. Y'all hear this?
That's crazy.
My boy did a week in jail for stealing $500 million, man. $500 million. My boy did a week in jail.
Damn.
And he still get to get rich again. You understand this part? $500 million and you get to get rich again.
It's a fucked up world,
It's
man.
a
I
fucked
don't make the rules,
You
right?
don't make
I don't make the rules.
You don't make
like
the rules.
Jordan Belfort, same shit. He did 2 years, and you know he had made whatever he made. It's
Now he on a campaign. He go out and do TED Talks.
It's
about how to
crazy.
get richer.
I don't want to take that angle in life where I'm doing sales shit after the fact, right? Like I wasn't a good salesman. I don't think he was a good salesman. We just both was good at fraud and we made a lot of bread, right? But like, I want to try to use my, you know, my likeness now for positive shit, you know, talk about like addiction, all this type of shit, childhood trauma. I want to do good with this whole story in the end, but I totally agree that it wasn't a fair sentence. Like, and it like, as much as I sat with the FBI and the prosecutors and worked through it, and to just for one guy to get 8 years, and a lot of people had lost this money. It's crazy, but the one thing about the whole thing is that they did seize, basically when they arrested us, they seized like a lot of money, you know. So like basically
That was my question, because
that's what you wanted to get to.
if they're seizing the money, like where does it go? Is it going back to the government? Is it going back to the pockets of the people that invested? Like, who is it going to?
So this is like the weirdest part of this whole thing, right? Is so they seized and they have a ton of money that's basically sitting in the government's possession, right? They took 100,000 Ethereum, sold it all, and they have that money. The money still to this day hasn't been claimed, only by like a few people. There's a class action suit that's going on that they're trying to get access to the money, but it's like a weird thing where like
The people who sent the money ain't even trying to get the money.
Yeah. So like,
So they was frauds too.
well, that's where the crypto space is so weird, right? People don't want to pay taxes on money that they're making that they never put their name on nothing. So someone that invested $1 million might have made that off fucking Shiba Inu coin or whatever bullshit coin was going on back then, and they never even claimed any of that money where you're supposed to be paying taxes on it, on short-term income tax on that shit every year. So people just kind of disappear off of the face of the map when it comes to
there's also like cryptocurrency is weird in the fact that people invest in different shit coins and forget their account, forget the shit that they're investing in. Like I got certain shit, honestly, that like I don't know where it is. I know I got like tens of thousands of dollars in different coins that I don't even know where the fuck it's at. Yeah. So when you're investing in all these little things, you gotta really keep track. Like the shit it can be a lot.
I guess in the case, because you mentioned the guy in his trailer, I'm assuming he's on the documentary or he's in the documentary.
Who?
You said a guy that's like living in this trailer or something. That
Oh,
you
one
had
of the
sympathy
victims?
For? Yeah, one of the victims.
One of the victims, yeah.
So in a situation like that where you can put a face to it, do you know how much money he initially invested into your currency?
That person, I don't know exactly how much that person lost, no.
I mean, my question then is, if you were to become successful through your endeavors now, would you be the honorable person, right? I mean, it's not just you, it's other people involved too, but just you yourself, would you be the honorable person and say, hey, you know what? I want to personally pay this guy back, because the litigation alone to try to get that money back from the FBI is going to be crazy. And too, what is your personal financial burden that you have to pay back? Because I heard you say something about you have to pay some money back in restitution, right?
Yeah.
What is your personal balance that you owe to the victims?
I owe like about $3 million.
Have you paid some of that back?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
You intend on paying?
I basically
it all?
pay a percentage of everything that I make. So every dollar I make until it's paid off, they take a percentage of it. Right? So that's like a weird question, right? Where it's like the personal person that like that one guy that like maybe if I seen him on the street and like I don't know, like a lot of times the people that are in these documentaries, like that guy, I don't know.
Maybe he didn't even put the money up.
Or maybe he only lost a few thousand, right? If it's
Right.
like something like that, if it's like a reasonable thing and I felt bad for the guy, yeah, of course. But like as far as me doing right and paying back like what I owe, I'm gonna pay that back.
Yeah.
You know, I have a goal to pay that back.
So what's the vibe now? Like what are you into now? What's the next step?
I have like an iHeartRadio podcast that I'm doing. And then I did this documentary, and then I just want to get into this media space of just kind of, you know, same thing you guys got going on here. The podcast space is awesome. I love it. You know, but I just have to figure out a way where I'm talking about something that like I actually love, you know, like it's fun. Like when you do, you know, this is different for you, but like a music aspect, you got something that you love that you're talking about with people that also love it. And I think that's a crazy good dynamic, right?
For sure. And my next thing is I feel like you were just so tapped in with the crypto, and 2024 is slated to be the year that crypto goes crazy again. So are you investing in crypto? What are your thoughts on crypto? Is your mind even on crypto anymore? What's the vibe?
My mind's definitely on crypto. It's a little bit of a weird question as far as like being a part or involved with anything, because I'm not allowed to like, I think like there's certain rulings, right? Where like, I don't think I'm ever allowed to like be a part of a crypto company.
No, I mean just from the aspect of investing.
If I'm like basic as shit with crypto investing ideology now, or it would just be Bitcoin, Ethereum, stock market, S&P 500. I would never go anywhere else, just because I know personally what like I was able to do. I just don't trust anything anymore, you know. Like I just know how easy it is. You create a coin, and there's just so much fluff behind it. Even the good ones, you know, Solana, whatever it is. Like Solana's doing really well, and it's like maybe a great coin, and maybe there's great people, but it's just so hard to trust any of that I just say stick with Ethereum. Like I think Ethereum is the real moneymaker. And then, you know, anybody wants to fuck around and take chances, take your chances. But I just think there's a lot of bullshit. Like I think in 2017 when all those companies were created, like 75% of them ended up falling apart, right? So like when you take these risks, you know, just know it's a real risk, right? But if you want to like stay around, like I think you can invest in Ethereum and do really well in the long term of just keeping it and holding it.
What do you think about Sam Bankman?
Sam Bankman, I think, is just as bad, if not worse, than me. And then he was driving a Toyota Camry the whole time and fucking some ugly girl. That's my opinion on it, right? So I don't think he's relatable. I'm glad he's going to jail.
How much time you think he gonna get?
I think he'll get like at least 20.
20 years.
It was such
Who was that?
It was such a, you know, Sam
Bankman Fried, I think is how you pronounce his name. Basically, yeah, he started a company. It was crypto too, right?
Yeah.
And
like a crypto exchange.
He raised all this money. He was fucking buying his mom and dad houses. He was like going crazy with the bread. And I think this year they was trying to get out the country. Him and his partner, they caught him in somewhere else, and now they just brought him in. So I mean, he's gonna definitely get some serious time, but I just don't know or understand what the difference is between your crime and his crime, and why he's potentially who knows, he might get fucking 2 years too. You know what I'm saying? But they arrested him. He don't have a bail, I don't think. He just in that joint.
He had a bail. He was bailed. He was on bail. Then they convicted him, and he was guilty. So now he's in jail. I don't know if they sentenced him, but they remanded him after his sentencing was guilty. So like he had bail originally. He was out, which is how every case works. You get arrested, you get a bail or no bail, whatever. He had a bail. He was out. And then
I don't think he was out.
He was out for a little bit.
Okay.
And then he like fucked up because after he got out, my partner in this business did the same thing. He put out a press release against the FBI saying how it was bullshit what they're doing. And that's why he's in jail right now, my partner. Like, he could have done the same shit as me.
So your partner's still in jail?
Yeah.
And when was he sentenced?
A few years ago. So
Did he walk the streets the time before he was
on
sentenced?
house arrest. We were both on house arrest for a while. He was on house arrest for probably like 2 years. But he kept fucking up. Like, he kept trying to like he tried to create a whole new crypto while I was on house arrest.
Damn.
I literally.
Oh, he had a problem.
Yeah. And
crook of the century. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Like, I got sober and I was like, listen, I need to change my life, right? Like, like God hit me with like, you can get sober this time, because I had been to rehab 13 times in my life. Like, I had been fucked up my whole life. So like, when I felt like just this overwhelming burden of like, this crime was like, I was gonna either get my shit together now or I was done. And I just, changed my life around from that point on. I think that factored in a lot in regards to my sentence as well. Like the drug addiction part really did factor in. And also like the childhood shit, really, they factor in that type of stuff.
Man, they do. Yo, listen, respectfully, they do that with white people. They talk about your childhood. They like, oh, he came from a broken family. The dad wasn't around. We do not get the same benefit of the doubt as black people. And I don't mean to make it a racial thing, but it's just facts. When I'm listening to some of it, it's like, how is this possible? How listen, once again, I'm glad you out of jail. I think the jail system is corrupt and crazy, and just some of these laws need to be changed in general. You know what I mean? But when I'm hearing like basically a slap on the wrist, we get the sympathy story. We do not get this in the black community. Like, it's like one thing, they giving you football numbers. You like 99 years for something like crazy, So I don't know. I take it. I just listen with a little bit of just sadness. You know what I mean? Like, not because I want you to be in jail, but just because I could think of so many friends and family members who've did 10, 15 years for like petty little bitty crimes.
Trust me, I know I'm white, right? Like, I've been through the criminal system and I've never went to jail, right? I know I'm white, and I
crazy.
Even in my book, I write about that.
Yeah.
Like, I speak exactly on that thing, on exactly what you're talking about being white, and just like how it's crazy that I never went to jail. Like, I fully get what you're saying, and part of it is also like having like really good lawyers, but there's no way that people get as much grace as I got in the whole thing. I 100% agree.
Mm-hmm. What was the thought process in being at the Hard Rock so much? Were you trying to was there a ploy? Like, what was going on in your mind? Because you was in that motherfucker religiously.
I like, just as much as like I had a drug addiction, I'm a degenerate gambler, right? Like, I was just
still. You feel like you gamble a lot still, or
no, not still,
not so
but
much, yeah.
but at that time, like I just love gambling. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that baccarat will get you.
Yeah,
Oof.
it's fun.
It was fun.
Just the whole lifestyle of it. Like, I had this, and when you met me, I had left the company. So like, I was like, I had a business before that, a car business. Had Centratech, and I was working like endless hours, right? Like 100 hours a week on Centratech. Even though it was fraud, I was working like crazy, right? And then I left for like 2-3 months, and that was when I met you. So it was just during this weird period of my life where like I wasn't working, and I had all the money, right? Like, and then I literally was having like $50,000 a day every single day for months hit my bank account from like, because you can only cash out a certain amount a day.
Yeah, you would literally show me. He would bring out the computer and he would refresh it. He would like, watch him refresh it again. It's more money every single time. More money.
You ain't want to get in on that?
Bruh.
What's up with your boo?
I told him not to.
Bruh. I actually was like, how can I mean I didn't know what was going on. I'm just like, damn, like, what am I missing? Like, let me in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, obviously I ain't know what was going on. But crypto became so attractive to me at that time.
If you would have got in on it, you'd be in jail right now. Still,
I'd be in jail. It was like I ain't even created.
He's the ringleader.
I ain't even created.
You'd be in jail right now, looking like Kodak Black. Hey, there he is.
Damn.
Shout out to Kodak.
Nah,
My
facts.
favorite rapper alive.
Yeah, man. But so Florida, while you're down here in Miami, you run around with because was you driving nice cars while you was doing your crypto thing?
Yeah.
So you just hitting everything moving. You was just going crazy.
It was the best years ever. I was driving any car I wanted, endless money, and fucking just all I did was the crazy thing is I just would just go to strip clubs. I ended up falling in love with hookers more than anything. Realistically, not even hookers. Like Miami strippers are just the baddest girls in the world, and you know out here is wild. Like, you know, I hate to break it to you, but they all could be bought. You know, that's just how it goes out here. And fucking, I would just be there every day, basically. I had no life, really. Like, I had no friends out here anymore. Like, I had just had a bad breakup with my partner, my business partner. And I was just kind of out here just gambling and living like a full degenerate lifestyle, right?
What made you, you know, snitch? What made you turn state's evidence? What made you?
So I snitched on someone that I hated my whole life, that I ended up being a business partner with, then basically robbed me at the end there, like fucked me over, right? So like I had left on bad terms, right? Like all the money that I had personally made was like behind his back because we were fighting, right? So like I was snitching on him no matter what. First off, I'm not from the I'm not like I have no street code that I'm following, right? Like
Right.
I'm a white.
I mean,
kid.
but you wanted to be a gangster. You know that the mob has a code. Omerta, you don't talk to the cops.
If
know
you
what
ever
I mean?
watch Power,
I watch Power.
right? Pretty much how Ghost goes about his business. Tommy is the real street one. Ghost kind of just like whatever's best for his personal interest. That's what he does. That's pretty much me, right? I'm not fucking like it'd be different if my business partner was my brother or my best friend, right? But there was like no
relationship, really.
Yeah, no relationship, and
So
like
you think that justify you going and snitching on your boy, man, after you made millions of dollars?
wasn't my boy, 100%.
What would he say? What would he say? What is he saying right now in jail?
Oh, you're a snitch. Go for it. Call me a snitch. I don't give a fuck.
So you think, you know, just the 6ix9ine, he didn't snitch.
Those were his people.
Nah, he said he was fucking his girl and he had his same reasoning.
Fuck my girl, I would snitch on you too. I don't give a fuck.
Hey, yo, at least he keeping it 100 for sure. Nah, but you know what I mean? Listen, when you doing the crime, you know the consequences that come with it. You gotta live and die by those consequences, man. That's just, I don't care. I don't know if that's street code. I think that's just the rules of life. You know what I'm saying?
Or you create your own fate.
Create his own fate. You ain't snitch for noble reasons. You snitch basically to keep yourself outside and be able to.
100%.
That's right. That boy. Hey,
I'm not
I
arguing.
don't agree. You know what I'm saying? I personally, you know, I'm not a criminal, first of all. Where's my camera? I'm not a criminal, so I wouldn't. But, you know what I'm saying? If I decided to live a life of crime and profit off the crime, you do the crime, you do the time. You don't talk to the cops, you know. And who knows? Maybe he would have got less time. You got a couple years. How many people actually went to jail because you told?
One person.
Just him.
Yep.
Nobody else went to jail.
Nope.
And why was it?
And how many people was it?
There was 3 of us. One guy was like our he was just like this complete moron. Used to be like a stripper. And fucking we had him like just doing like our dirty work.
He's
like
hilarious.
we had him like doing our fucking dirty. That is funny. They found an old clip of him in the documentary of him stripping on Wendy Williams, and they put it in.
Wow.
He's gonna be mad embarrassed when he sees the documentary. I feel bad for that kid, honestly. He was just like this dumbass kid that was like my other partner's girl's brother. So like he's like his brother-in-law, my other partner's brother-in-law. So he just basically came into our office one day, and we just needed like more hands in the chat room, and we just brought him in, and he fucking thought he was a big shot, like, and
How much money did he make?
nothing.
And he just was running around holding on to his dick like he was the man.
Yeah, I mean, he made, like, we were paying him like a good salary,
Yeah.
you know, but I don't know how he didn't know. Like, he still to this day says Central Tech was a good company. He's in the documentary. He texted the director after the fact and was like, "That's fucked up. You made Central Tech look so bad." I can't even fathom the thought of how someone could be that dumb. Like how someone could still say that he got a Central Tech tattoo in the documentary.
No way.
Oh shit.
I guess it's wild, man. The other kid's still in jail that he swears by the company too, but they don't like. I know what I say, and like I say like I seen a couple articles just saying like. I say like I'm proud of what I did or whatever, but I'm not. It's not that I'm proud of what I did. I think it's just a good story, and when I speak, I laugh and I joke about like my story, right? But the other kid, he swears by the company, but they all don't want to like talk about that first initial money that was raised was all off bullshit.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And that's like where I was. That's why I'm able to tell my stories because I was able to admit that and I did what I did.
Well, when I watched the trailer, I think there's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna eat this up and want to see it because it's a new kind of crime. This kind of crime didn't really exist 10 years ago, right? So when you sent me that trailer, I was like, holy shit, this is gold in terms of people wanting to see it, you know, because crypto is like it's the
new gold rush.
It's the new gold rush, and everybody's interested in it. And people are like, "Should I jump in? Should I not? Is it a scam? Is it not?" And I think this story just shows a side of crypto that seemingly is going away because
I was going to ask, do you think it could happen again? Do you think somebody could come along and do what you did?
It's happening today. It's happening. It's not really going away.
Since you told on everybody already,
I didn't tell on nobody.
You don't think
tell us who you think doing
since
it.
the government is now just like stepping in and doing away with these companies that it's being regulated a little more because before it was like a blind eye. It's
the Wild Wild West.
And everybody could make a coin, right? Like I feel like there's consequences now.
There's definitely consequences, but there's instead of opening a company out of Delaware, which was like a good company to hide your identity when you're opening an LLC, they're opening it out of a foreign country like Malta, and they're doing the same thing on VPNs, sitting in America and trying to do exactly what I did. Maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, with everything, there's going to be scam, right? I mean, there's scams on credit cards, but like when there is regulation, you're just going to have less people scamming. Is my point?
Nah, the scammers just get smarter.
I don't know about smarter necessarily. I think it's more so that like I get what you're saying, right? And I agree with what you're saying, but I think there's probably
I got cryptocurrency, so I'm trying to pump my shit up.
Nah, I think there's
y'all over here trying to pump my shit down. I got millions of dollars invested in goddamn, you know what I'm saying? So I need my shit to be pumped. Nah.
I think it's like better as far as like a whole circle and like there's more talked about and people are more knowledgeable. So like there's less scams that are getting away with it. They're getting shut down faster. But there's still more people attempting to do it, right? But which is just like you said, just like credit cards, there's more people ever like. And
yeah, I met hundreds of people doing credit card scams like in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's still a thing, of course. But with regulation and people knowing that there's going to be a consequence for your actions, I just feel like it's some sort of regulation had to happen so that cryptocurrency can fly.
Do you think the regulation is good?
I do.
Nah, but the point of crypto was because people wanted to be deregulated. They wanted to be able
That's
to
the whole argument.
make
That's
their
why I asked
money
the
without
question.
paying taxes and spending money.
But I personally think it needs some sort of regulation so that it's not the wild, wild west. There needs to be some kind of structure. But that's why I appreciate the bigger coins and not the ones that are doing too much different kinds of ideas and technology. And like you said earlier, to me, there's like 2 or 3 coins that I would bet the house on because I feel like they are built on things that matter and things that actually work.
But
coins?
Bitcoin to me is golden. You know, that is like having a gold bar.
Agreed.
To me. Ethereum, it just has so much technology and art that's attached to it. To me, Ethereum could be like the biggest company in the world. You know what I'm saying? Because there's just so many technologies that are being opened from Ethereum, right?
Listen, I think that's the I'm just playing devil's advocate. You know what I'm saying? When I think about this,
Are you in crypto?
yeah, I have crypto too. You know, I'm a gambler though. I'm like my boy. I'm gonna try something, right? And maybe I get lucky and I get out before it go bad, right? But I look at Bernie Madoff, right? We talked about him a little bit earlier. You know, everybody thought Bernie was Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? If you got a Bernie to get you to be able to invest with him, man, you knew you like, hey. And he went through the Jewish community and got a lot of his fellow Jewish men to invest in his company. And it was all fake. It was all a Ponzi scheme. He was robbing Peter to pay Paul. And he did that for years, decades. You know what I'm saying? Across time. And it was all fake. And he was going into the meetings with Bush and Clinton.
I get that, but this is different. This is not a.
It's not
you're not
different.
trusting a person. Bitcoin is
No.
It's
You
not.
are, somebody owns and controls it. Somebody's in charge of that.
No, but Bitcoin it's you're holding value, right? And as Bitcoin goes up and down, your money goes up and down. It's just like gold, right? As gold goes up and down in value, your profit goes up and down.
No, but gold you can physically touch. You could physically have gold.
Yeah, what money do you have that you can physically touch? How much of your money can you physically touch? You can touch none of it. The bank owns all your bread. What's the difference?
Of course.
A man owns that bank too. By the way, who do you trust more? Why do you trust that bank more? They're literally taking the money that you own and they're giving it to somebody else. You know that, and you still put your money in the bank.
Yes.
Bitcoin is not doing that with your money. They're not reloaning your bread.
Yeah, yes and no.
And then then having somebody pay a premium to loan your money out.
Listen,
That's just a crazy concept.
I agree with you on that.
That's a crazy concept.
The whole system is built on fraud. You know what I'm saying?
That's his
Even
point,
the
though.
American government, you know
That's
what I'm
his
saying?
point.
It's built on essentially.
I know, but what fraud are you gonna? What fraud would you rather be putting your money into?
If I only had two choices, the Bitcoin or keep my shit in the bank, I'm gonna keep my shit in the bank. You know if the bank was paying out dividends the way.
But look,
you know
let me tell you something. You say that right now, but in
market.
10 years, we're gonna cut this tape back, and you're gonna eat your words.
Listen, let me tell you what I have a problem with, and this is where I go way to the fucking left. I have a problem with all of the fucking electronic shit. They trying to get rid of cash in general. You know what I'm saying? Look at what happened up in Canada when they were protesting the truckers or whatever. They start cutting their bank accounts off, all kind of shit. They're gonna start doing the same thing with crypto too. So when we get to talk about who's the regulators, no, that's what that's what you want. You want the regulators.
No. I want them to weed out all of the fuckery. That's what I want. I want
Once
all
the government get involved, it's over with.
No, they shouldn't be able. They shouldn't be able to touch certain shit. But there needs to be some sort of regulation.
They should be able to tell us we gotta get the fucking COVID shot, but we gotta get the COVID shot. Go ahead.
I agree. I wouldn't get that shit either.
You know
right? I never would get that shit. But that's besides the point, right?
we gonna talk. We gonna talk.
We don't need to get political, right?
Yeah.
But fucking like what Jason's saying, I agree with so much because like Bitcoin, it isn't controlled by anybody really. But I mean, there might be some people that own so much of it that they have a lot of control. But there's the person that created it, no one knows, and he's supposedly.
It might be you. It's you the nigga that created Bitcoin. Now that we're sitting fuck here, is this the next one right now?
Yeah, Satoshi or whatever. But like fucking, the Ethereum's a little different with Vitalik Buterin, and he's like just. If you've seen him, you'd be like, they ain't. I guess I mean with Sam Bankman-Fried, he threw everything off because he was so nerdy. But
yeah, he was a nerd.
Vitalik is like a alien, so like I kind of trust him. But I don't know if you ever seen
It looks
Vitalik.
trustworthy.
The more nerdy you look, the more trustworthy.
Yeah,
Well,
he's like,
that's the issue,
he
right?
ain't taking my money and spending on strip clubs and shit like that.
It's been too long. He would have ate or he's making so much bread without doing the wrong thing. But fucking but Bitcoin no one really owns. So like it is like kind of, and the government can't even regulate it essentially.
Yet.
But there's only a certain way they can regulate it, and that's like if they have full access of your internet, right? So the only way is if they completely regulate your internet, which they partially do with like the NSA, but they can't admit that, right? But that's a whole nother conversation.
That slowly.
But that's the same.
surely.
But that's what Jason was kind of saying with like that's what they're doing now with your money from J.P. Morgan or from Chase or Bank of America. But in
the worst way.
Yeah.
In the worst. The fact that you could put your hard-earned money and then they have the audacity to pay you this minute amount of money, interest on your money that's less than the amount of inflation is crazy.
Of course. I mean, your money sit in the bank, it loses value. When it comes to money in the bank, although I want less government involved with all my shit, I still know if something happened, I could get my fucking money back. You know what I'm saying? At some level,
we hope.
Right now, as this sits, at some level, we can get our bread back. You know what I'm saying?
We hope
it don't just disappear.
It's not
gonna be held accountable.
It's not by chance that, you know, a lot of the billionaires that I know, they just get gold bars. They just got gold bars. Like why all the billionaires I know got so many gold bars?
Man, this shit going bad, man. So what's going on? So
we need to get a bunker. you heard about what's the Facebook guy name? Zuckerberg got the bunker in Hawaii.
Yeah,
spent $200 million
on the bunker.
On the fucking bunker in Hawaii. Bill Gates got a bunker. I got another billionaire friend that got a bunker. He telling me about the shit that he building. I'm like, damn.
Can't mention his name.
Are you trying to? No. I'm trying to. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck I'm doing with my life. Maybe I need to be building a bunker too.
But these bunkers and shit, bro, that means the shit gonna go bad and it ain't no money.
What do they know that we don't know?
What you gonna do with gold once 90 billion motherfuckers die? You know what I'm saying? What you gonna do with the gold?
Yeah, we gonna have to have some sort of currency, right?
No, you gonna have to be able to lift something, nigga, or plant a seed. You know what I'm saying? Make a jacket. You know what I'm saying?
No, nigga, if 90 million people die, there's still 7 billion people in the world.
It's only 8 billion people. You know what I'm saying? I said 90 billion. I was
you
joking.
said, oh,
you know
I thought you said million.
But if let's say 7 billion people die.
Oh, come on, son.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of fucking people.
What do we get hit with a fucking meteor?
They might hit us with anything. They saying now the aliens real. Man, the fucking aliens own Bitcoin. They saying now they real. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, apparently the aliens own Ethereum.
They do. They dead ass do.
Yo, nah, for real. This has been amazing, man. You having an amazing story. You got any regrets?
I have a regret that people lost money, but from I go through this question a lot, and it's such a hard question to answer from where my life is today and like how it all turned out. Right? I never went to jail. I have this story was such a fun, I enjoyed the time that I had during this period of cryptocurrency and doing all this crazy shit. It saved my life. It got me off of drugs. So from a selfish point of view, I don't regret it, right? But as far as people losing money, of course I regret hurting anybody, right? Like nowadays, I don't want anybody to be hurt. I wish everybody would be made whole. But from a selfish point, I can't say I regret the whole
journey.
Yeah.
I'm curious to go from having everything to back to normal. Like what does that feel like? And did it take some time to kind of just adapt? Because I couldn't imagine having literally all of the money in the world and then to have nothing again.
It's such like a hard question to answer. The fucked up part is that like I still feel like I'm doing better than like everybody I know my age that I grew up with, right? So like it's like a weird thing where like I've always been able to figure it out no matter what's going on in my life. I've always figured it out, right? Like most people my age, especially now with inflation and rates and everything, no one's got a house that I went to high school with. Mm-hmm. Everybody's fucking broke. Now I got a house, I got kids, I got a wife. I'm doing good in life.
Yeah, but when you used to walk into a room, you used to walk into a room different. Do you still have that same confidence? Do you still have that same?
I have that same confidence in the sense of like I've gotten healthy. I feel like I look better than I ever looked. I feel like I'm in my prime, health wise and look wise. But as far as like financially, I'm not where I was. I feel like I can get back there, legitimately. It's definitely it hits you in the gut, right? And it's like the humbling. And like when I was like first on probation and shit, they make you work. I was working construction back after doing all that shit, working fucking in the cold, struggling, right? Like that shit is hard as shit.
That's probably what made you want to work out. And
yeah, I got healthy.
Right.
Yeah, and I was just like, I needed something to fulfill me, right? Like, and exercise is like amazing. That shit really like changes your life once you get into it.
Let's cut the shit. How much fucking cash did you hide before this shit? You know what I'm saying? How much cash did you hide? You know what I'm saying? Before the shit went bad. You know what I'm saying?
Now I'm broke, baby.
That's right. You say I'm broke, baby. We know you had a stash somewhere, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's what everybody says. The whole fucking documentary makes it out like that.
Like it ends on a cliffhanger. Like how much?
Everybody swears by that shit, you know. Y'all can fucking figure out whatever y'all want to figure out.
That's amazing, but I think you hit the cash. And that's smart. You know, you're a smart guy. You was able to do all that for sure. You knew the end was near. When that boy called you, when your man called you from jail, and he was like, "Hey man, put me on the phone. My girl is fucked up. They got me." You was like, "Oh shit, I need to."
You got to figure it out.
Let me put this thing together. You know, right now, you know, because you and just to sum everything up. Where's your mom in all of this while all this is happening at that time?
My mom is like a single mom, ride or die, right? So like, she thinks the government's fucked up.
Of course.
You know, like I could never do wrong in my mom's eyes, no matter what. Throughout this whole thing, like she was always there, right? Like fucking every time I went to rehab, tried to get sober, she took me there, right? So fucking, my mom is right there with me still to this day.
That's right.
You know, she'll never leave. You can never do wrong by your mother, you know?
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, when I had it back then, she was living good too.
Making sure she
so
was
like
good.
you always make sure your mother's good no matter what.
So he hid the money at his mom's house. On that note, go ahead, wrap it up, Jay.
Yeah, man. All in all, man, everybody make sure you go see this documentary. It's called Bitconned. It's out right now. Go check that out. It's all over Netflix. You can't miss it. Bitconned. And I just want to say, man, I hope that you realize what really matters in life. You know, I've been on both sides. I've had nothing, and then I've had everything as well. And the important things, for me at least, has always been the people that are closest to me and finding the things that I love to do and doing those things more. You know, and that's always made me really happy, man. So hopefully you can find that same kind of happiness.
I appreciate that, and I see the same people that was around you back then. You still got around you, man. It's amazing.
Yeah, these ugly
It's beautiful to
motherfuckers still
see.
around me now.
Day ones, man. And how many of those strippers have you seen recently?
Nah, man, I'm married, man.
Yeah, okay, that's right.
Yeah,
My boy married, man. It's been a great interview.
Yeah.
We appreciate your time, brother. And, you know, I hope that you spread the good news to some of these kids who may be thinking about doing fraud or getting into some craziness that is not worth it. You know what I mean? You risking your life for temporary happiness. The same thing, whether you're doing fraud, you're in a drug game, you trying to rob guys, temporary happiness. He had hundreds of millions of dollars, and then he had to start all over construction. And ultimately, the happiness came from having a wife, having the kids, doing the right thing. And, you know, I think you're going to be blessed because you made that turn, brother. So congratulations on being sober for the last 7 years. Mm-hmm. And I look forward to paying even more close attention to your journey moving forward, man.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
For sure.
Thank you, brother.
I was on the road.